All right, welcome back, everybody. Parents and caregivers, I'm speaking to you. We all want our children to grow up feeling great about their bodies, right? We can all agree on that. But it can be pretty tough to know how to help them along the way.
So we asked you to send in your questions about how to raise body-positive kids, and boy, oh boy, you delivered. Youth and family therapist Tania DaSilva is back to address some of your most common concerns. Tania, welcome back to the show. We're going to jump right in because we were inundated with amazing questions. So why don't we kick off the first one? The number one question we got from viewers is, how can we make our kids feel good about their bodies no matter what they look like?
I love this question, and I think it's all mindset. So we use this concept where your body is an instrument, not an ornament. When we look at an ornament, it's all about it needs to be perfectly put together and really pretty, and it's observed and criticized, but that is literally looking at our body from the physical. So we like to tap into, it's an instrument. It's something that you get to use to experience things, to do things that make you happy, that you enjoy, and that you have fun with. So I always use the example of your kids playing soccer. They might not look that good doing it or be that good at it, but your body's an instrument. It lets you run, it lets you enjoy the experience, and that's essentially what we want to focus on. So it's how are we shifting their body image and how they're actually absorbing and observing their body.
I love that. I guess the question is it possible to be too positive with our kids? And that's what Madison Avenue asks. That's her handle, by the way. How do you balance telling a child they are beautiful without making them think that looks are number one?
Well, with this, I want you to imagine this. So your kid comes into your room and starts spinning in a dress. Majority of us are gonna be like, you look so pretty or you're so beautiful. So it is also ingrained in us to focus on the looks. So what we usually do is, we're like, okay, let them come in spinning, but can we also focus on the ability or the characteristics? So, wow, you run really fast, or you have great balance, or you're so confident, or you're so silly. So it's okay to compliment the look part of it, but we also wanna make sure we're not focusing it on it too much.
I mean, I would say you look so happy doing
there you go,
that.
exactly, yeah.
But I'll never forget my mom. So I'm one of 4 children, but 3 girls. And people would come up and say, oh, these girls are so cute. My mom would say, but they're very smart.
That's right.
They say, and they're very smart.
I see that already too. I have a 5-month-old, and that's all they talk about is like how cute she is and what she looks like, right? So it happens young.
Absolutely. Okay, so as much as we try to control the narrative, we can control the narrative at home, but it's when they leave the home, right?
Yeah.
That's a big concern for a lot of people. JLB Edwards asks, what to do when your child asks another child that made fun of their body or size? What do you do if another child's making fun of your child?
So I love a good analogy. So with kids, I'm always like, okay, let's imagine we're at, the ice cream parlor. Like there's lots of different flavors, but at the end of the day, it's all ice cream. So it's the same with bodies, right? There's lots of different shapes, sizes. We're all still human. So we really want to normalize the differences. I still continue with this analogy where I'm like, it's okay for someone not to like a flavor. It's not okay for them to swing it across the room or throw it, right? So it's the same thing with how people speak to us. It's okay for them not to necessarily like the way we look, but it's not okay for them to make us feel bad about it. So I'll go into helping them build skills like assertiveness and boundaries and how they can deal with that situation so they at least feel confident in addressing someone that's making them feel that way.
Tania, here's another common one. What if our child is comparing their body to their peers?
It happens. And I kind of go in the other direction. I don't talk about their bodies in that sense, where most parents are like, oh, but you're also so pretty, or you're so this. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Some people are taller or skinnier, but there's also people that are shorter or heavier. We, again, just normalize the different shapes and sizes. And we focus on this concept of confidence and comfort. So there's some things that our kids are going to be so confident in, and that can be abilities or looks, but there's also some things that they're not, and that's something that we need to get comfortable in. So what can we do so that you're comfortable, so that you're not just focusing on the way you look and you're actually enjoying the experiences with your friends instead of making comparisons?
Okay, here's a big one. We got a ton of questions about this. It's about families or friends making comments about kids' bodies. Oh my gosh, this makes me feel icky. Okay, so sometimes this happens where somebody's gonna make a comment about how the kid looks, what they're eating. This is going to be potentially happening with the holidays and families coming together. How do we handle it when it's a close friend, a close family member that's commenting about your child's body?
Yeah, and this one was interesting because we do talk about this a lot at the clinic too. So for the most part, we try to use it as like a teachable, where if someone is making a comment, we're like, listen, we don't talk about food that way or bodies this way, and we'll actually kind of reiterate what we're talking about at home. So like the ornament versus instrument comment. And for the most part, usually friends or families will kind of lean in and be like, oh, okay. But I'm sure you're all thinking of that one family member that you're like, absolutely not. They're going to keep going. So with those family members, usually we're like, you know what, if this is how it's going to continue, then you know what, we're not going to have get-togethers around lunch or food, and maybe we should meet in other spaces if you can't respect the way that, we look at things and the way we want to communicate about these things. And you can do that in front of your child, because it also shows you setting that boundary where it's like, no, this isn't okay,
that's
right?
interesting.
You want them to be able to do that with their friends and other people when you're not around too.
Right, that's a really good point. Okay, I know a lot of parents and people struggle with their own body and their own body positivity. How important is it for us to stay positive when we're looking or talking about our own bodies in front of our kids?
That one is a hard one, and I think it starts from when they're born, right? Like, especially as moms, we call it like a body disruptor, right? Your postpartum body, like, it starts right from the beginning. So for us, we look at it where kids are absorbing what we're saying about ourselves, about other people, how we're treating other people and ourselves. And I've seen it in little kids where they'll make comments that you can see parents sometimes like, oh, they heard that at home, right? So they are absorbing things from us, and we want to think about what do you want them to absorb. And sometimes we make a mistake, or we say something where we're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Use that as a teachable moment and be like, you know what, I said that, and actually that wasn't okay to say to me or to somebody else, right? So we can definitely grow from those moments too.
And you know what I did last summer? Let me tell you, I am not a comfortable person in a bikini. It's not like a comfortable scene for me, but I wore a bikini last year.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why? Because I wanted my daughter to see me in a bikini and
Good
be
for
okay.
you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Exactly.
Good for you.
And that's where
Out
it
of our
starts.
comfort zone.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
We've got time for one more question. Tania, it's about clothing. Some of our viewers say their kids are trying to fit into clothes that are either too small or not appropriate, often because they want to fit in with their group of friends or they're influenced, of course, by social media. What advice can you offer all of us?
We hear this so much from kids, and we always talk about it's not about the fabric, it's about the feeling. And then we actually pull in like the confidence and comfort piece, where majority of them, they're trying to fit into something smaller, so they don't feel comfortable and they don't feel confident. So it actually kind of defeats the whole purpose. So we're like, wear something that actually fits. Don't focus so much on how much fabric, but how you feel in it. And sometimes we actually do feel super comfortable in that, and we also feel confident in that. But if we don't feel confident, we'll at least be comfortable in the situation. What I usually do too is I actually ask kids, I'm like, just try it. Just for one weekend, wear something that you're actually comfortable in and see if your experience is different. And usually when they come back and see us, they're like, actually it was. Like, I wasn't focused on how uncomfortable I was. I actually enjoyed myself.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so timely and so wonderful. I mean, we have daughters, but it's for all kids, you know, to be very, very
And
honest.
the boys too.
Exactly.
Boys
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
Tania, thank you. Congrats with you and your little one.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of this great advice.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.